Welcome back to Rated Radio with your host Rayburn Alexander and a poor imitation of the ghost of Carl Sagan. Rayburn, how have these cosmos been treating you since we last spoke?
Well, within the past 24 hours, my life has been quite the shit show. Maybe shit show is a little harsh.
Theme of the year, it would seem, for most people.
Yeah, everyone's healthy and kind of happy at the moment.
So what happened?
It seems that my father decided to take it upon himself to start a new job a couple days ago, and he has already had his first accident at work. Thank God, or whoever is divine over all of us, if there is anyone or anything, that they were looking out for him, and that workers' comp is a thing. So he's doing all right. He got into an accident on a forklift and had some damage done to his knee. So he's resting up, and he's okay. But on top of that, I decided to dye my hair within the past 24 hours, so I am now Ariel red.
I was just noticing it before you said something. It's amazing how
little you pay attention.
Yes.
I ended up
I'm thinking about your father and his leg. He seemed in good spirits when we talked.
Yes, he is in very good spirits. He's being very well taken care of. And you know what? It gives me more time to spend with my dad. However, the shitty of circumstances, I will always be thankful for that. So, with that being said, Shane, what's going on in your world?
I just got off of work about half an hour ago. I am drinking my raspberry lambic out of the giant wine bottle that it comes in, so I'm feeling rather fantastic today. No complaints. This will be our Christmas special.
Yes.
That having been said, I would like to go ahead and ask, what is it that you want most for Christmas this year? I'm not asking because I'm getting you the gift. I'm just asking what you would like.
Honestly, for just everyone to be okay. There's not a single item really that I want. I just want everyone to be happy and healthy, and that's something that I am thankful for that we have at this point. I just hope that continues, that I still have the people in my life that are in my life, and I know some people have not had that luxury this year, and I just count myself lucky that I was one of the people that unfortunately never had to go through that or have not gone through that.
Your answer's better than mine.
What do you want this year?
Well, when I started to think about it, I moved away from the selfish stuff fairly fast, but what I wound up coming back to was stimulus. That's what I would like for everyone. I would like for people to have money in their pockets once again, and I feel like our government has not helped in that regard, and it pains me. Mm-hmm. But I do believe strongly in the people of this nation and hope that everyone makes it through the holidays as best you can. A reminder to listeners that among the deadliest days in U.S. history, the past 3 or 4 have ranked right up there with 9/11. So please be safe, wear a mask. It sucks at this time of year, but avoid family where you can, just for the sake of someone else. That's what this season is about.
I don't think that was a bad answer.
Well, primarily it was stimulus payments. That's what I want for everyone.
Well, I'm not going to complain with stimulus for everyone. And there are those that are a lot less fortunate than me in their situations. And it's tough any time of year, let alone being close to Christmas. So
yes,
let's hope that everyone in their family can have a happy and safe Christmas this year.
Yeah. And free stuff. Let's get some free stuff.
Get some free money.
You know, with the tax money that you give to the government every year. It would be nice if it came back to citizens at some point.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm still speaking somewhat like Carl Sagan. I am slightly intoxicated to this point, so...
Jealous. I need to catch up.
It sounds a little off. So this will be our Christmas special, meaning that we will not be rating music today. Instead, what we will be doing is going over some of our tops for the holidays, including gifts, music albums, traditions, films, memories, songs, foods. Yes.
Food, glorious food.
Are you ready to get into it?
Hell yeah.
What would you like to do?
I would like to go over top 5 gifts.
Maybe first we...
Oh yeah, maybe we should roll the intro. I promise I'm not intoxicated yet.
It's coming.
Yeah.
You got me a bottle of rice liquor.
Yeah, it's called Old Man.
Appropriate.
Yeah. Since we sort of enjoy sake together when we go eat sushi, I just thought it was a nice gift to give you. Would be a bottle of soju
I definitely appreciate it.
that's locally distilled in where I live. The only rice distillery in Texas. So you're special.
I feel special.
Good, you should.
I really can't stop talking in that accent now.
It's okay. It's nice to have you back.
If you wish to make an apple pie from scratch, you must first invent the universe.
Oh, God. Can we move on?
I believe our future depends powerfully upon how well we understand this cosmos in which we float like a mote of dust in the morning sky.
You make me want to drink.
Top 5 gifts.
Okay, so I went for top 5 gifts for the person that has everything or you don't know what to get them. A lot of people are still shopping for coworkers, people that they don't know particularly well.
I think the boys from NSYNC had that trouble for a time. You know, what do you get the girl who has everything?
Yeah. So mine is just things that are helpful to me. I'm giving out basically hacks of what's helpful to me and ideas that you could get the person that has everything.
That's enough preface for now. Let's get to that list.
All right. First on my list for top 5 gifts is the gift of an experience. And examples that I would give that I have gotten in the past that have been phenomenal to experience: escape rooms, spa days. This is in a time where we don't really do anything. But say the world goes back to normal. The gift of an experience would be something that no one else would be able to gift someone else. First time doing something, the person receiving the gift would absolutely love it, especially if they enjoy it.
Yes, not necessarily about getting someone out of their comfort zone either, just giving them a change of pace. People are probably tired of sitting around the house this time of year. Think of what they really enjoy, and as long as it doesn't involve a crowd, try to find a little way to just sneak something in there that they don't see coming. Put your shoes on, grab a coat. We're getting the hell out of here for a while.
Yeah. What is first on your list?
A bottle of popular liquor. So you succeeded today. The reason I would recommend this as a gift is because it goes over really well at gift exchanges. If you want to be the person who brings a gift to the exchange that gets stolen all around the room, take liquor. Something that people really know.
I think you and I have gone to a couple of family gift exchanges where a bottle of liquor was involved. And I'm not saying that we have a family full of alcoholics. I'm just saying it's a good gift.
I think at one point we had a small box with like 5 mini bottles of liquor in it that were 30 years old or so. And people still were passing that around like mad.
Do you remember? Okay, so when that happened, the person that received the gift, the craziest thing is, the bottles are like 30 years old. They immediately opened them. Immediately.
Yep.
So it's all this 30 years worth of liquor just,
Yep. To disappointment because it definitely tasted old.
Yeah. But to be honest, we were all a little schnozzed by that point anyway. So who cares?
Take liquor.
Yeah.
What's second on your list?
Well, I had your wife in mind for this gift because you can't go wrong with a throw blanket.
Trying to say that I don't know how to give gifts to my wife, Rayburn?
No. What I'm saying is my go-to gift for your cold-ass wife, who's always freezing her tits off, for the record, she still has them.
Yes, she does.
Is a throw blanket. Who the fuck couldn't do with another throw blanket?
Do you see this? I refilled my cup, and half of it is foam. That's more head than I've gotten all year.
Wow. Cheers to Megan.
So a throw blanket?
A throw blanket. It's just a good gift. I mean, give the gift of warmth this cold Christmas season. All
right. Well, next for me is something called Nuun tablets. Nuun tablets. These are like little seltzer tablets that are full of electrolytes. You put them in a glass of water. They rehydrate you. I mention this because some people might be doing a lot of drinking around the holidays. And if you want to prevent hangover, I recommend at the end of the evening, if you haven't, to drink quite a lot of water. Throw a Noon tablet in there. Another thing that's become common as I've gotten older is to take a few ibuprofen before I go to sleep as well.
Hey, you got a whole routine
Yes.
of hangover prevention.
I can't handle hangovers anymore. That's the worst feeling.
Well, it's nice to have a system. By the way, I'm sensing a theme with your list.
That did follow pretty well, didn't it? What's next on yours?
Asks me that as I'm getting a drink. Thanks a lot. Next on my list is a piece of memorabilia from a shared experience that you had with that person that you're getting the gift for. Something in common. If there's anything that you bonded over, like a TV show, a song, a place, a concert experience, get them something that reminds them of the experience that you had with them, letting them know that you treasure it and would like to give them something to remind them of your treasured moment.
Yep. My answer kind of feeds into that, but I did not have the caveat that it needed to be shared experience. A recommendation I make is a personalized photo book, which you can do in most places online at this point. Mm-hmm. Pharmacies, Shutterfly, I think, does that sort of thing.
50% off right now.
Yes. But they go really well. Take the extra time to sort the photos into a way that looks good, make little notes, make it corny. Mm-hmm. Trust me, it's going to go over well unless you're giving it to an ex-girlfriend who doesn't want anything to do with you or something anymore. Don't do that, please. Just don't.
Personal experience?
I mean,
you don't have to say yes. I feel like your face is saying it all.
I was a sucker for love for a long time.
Sucker for love.
Number 4.
Number 4 on my list falls in with what you just said. A handmade gift. Something from the heart, something personalized that they know it came from you.
From the heart to the hands. Make it.
For a minute, I thought you said naked.
Yeah, it did sound like naked, didn't it?
But you know what? That wouldn't be a bad gift either. Anyway, moving on. I've received a lot of handmade gifts. I've received ornaments this year. Personalized ornaments. That's something that's very, very sweet. Food items. A good friend of mine who's very near and dear to my heart gave me food items this year that he made with his hands from his heart.
I know where most of the blood goes for that individual. Yeah. Straight to the penis.
Personalized handmade gift is always something that is treasured. And plus, nobody wants to be the asshole that throws out a handmade gift.
I'm going to come back to personalized handmade stuff. You watch.
All right.
It's going to get worse before it gets better.
Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Number 4 for me is a Ninja. That's a blender or food processor. You cannot go wrong with this thing.
I had a stroke when you said that. Because we were just talking about Ninja Turtles last episode.
I think of Logan every time I say Ninja, not because of D-word or because of ICP or anything. It's because on our Guitar Hero save file, where I made all the character, he's a ninja. Yeah. And then when he video chatted the other day when we were recording, he had the beanie on and the face mask on, and all you could see was his eyes and looked like a damn ninja.
He's a ninja. Yo. Okay, a ninja. Anything else you want to add to that?
Nope. Number 5.
Okay. Number 5 for me, although I try really to stay away from these as much as possible, you can never, ever, ever go wrong with an Amazon or Visa gift card. It's always a safe bet. If you're scared of offending anyone or just getting something that someone might not enjoy, Amazon or Visa gift card is always a safe way to go. It says, hey, I care about you this holiday season, but not enough to think about you.
I don't know why this just went through my head, but something I want to see more popular in life, scratch-offs in stockings.
Fuck you. Nope.
I love that.
I hate that.
Why do you hate that?
It's so stupid.
You might win some money.
Chances are you don't. I always hate it. I just think I just do.
Okay.
It's a played out thing. Maybe it's because I grew up with my dad scratching on scratch-offs.
That's probably what it is.
And guess what? I'm not a millionaire.
Well, as someone who has had scratch-offs in their stocking on Christmas 3 or 4 times in my life, I really enjoyed it. I don't think I ever won money on any of it, but it was just a little more interesting than what one normally finds there. Number 5 for me.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Is that where we are?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to recommend a Genesis Classic console. I'd love to recommend the NES or the SNES Classic, but they're kind of price gouging right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the Genesis comes loaded with games and it's only going to run you about $50, I think, at the moment. So a really nice throwback is good for a lot of current gamers. It's really difficult to get someone a game now because so much is digital, and you never know if people the day before Christmas bought the game for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So a Genesis Classic console, you really can't go wrong there.
There's one thing that I want to add before you move on. A hack that I use that helps me throughout the year. Throughout the year, keep a private Amazon wish list for family members and friends, specifically by name because I'm that extra. But I make notes for gifts that they have mentioned wanting or needing, or simply what I think would interest them. I add it to that wish list, and then when their birthday or Christmas rolls around, it makes for shopping for them much easier.
And now for my pro tips for the ladies listening out there who are with guys.
Ladies.
If you are with horny guys.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I should listen up.
Are you with a horny guy?
Every guy's horny that I know.
Okay. Well, just forget I said horny guys and just go with it.
Guys.
Here's some things that guys might want, but most of them won't ask for, apart from the obvious do the sexy things for them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There is something out there called Stroke 29. It is a self-pleasure cream. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's phenomenal.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, you could hook that up if you're tired of helping.
Okay.
There's a product on the market called the Auto Blow, which I see tons of people losing their minds over. Don't have one. They're expensive. Be warned.
I'm having so many thoughts run through my head right now. Continue.
Yeah, you could go the free route, give them nudes or, sexy photos of that sort. It all comes with a price tag. Is that what you're saying? Well, since it all comes with a price tag, how about this? Why don't you just start a fans only and just only invite your man?
That's an idea. Only man.
Fuck you. Pay me. Moving on.
Okay.
What's next?
Next, we're going to, are we going to reflect?
Do you want to reflect?
Give me a minute. Okay, I'm reflected.
The top 10 holiday albums. We're going to go through our top 10 albums. We're going to recommend one song from each album, even though I won't be using song clips.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a long story.
Okay.
But suffice it to say that they really fuck the show over if we do that. They make listeners listen to entire songs. They don't make clear if you have the ability to skip, and it will only appear on Spotify. Wouldn't even appear on iTunes, and I don't really want to do that to people. So
Cool. Okay. Well, moving on to top 10 holiday albums. I'm going to say something before I list my first one. My top 10 holiday albums and another list later in the show. I will not have any repeats. Just keep that in mind when we get to the second half of our show.
Same.
Number 1, Michael Bublé, his Christmas album, which is labeled Christmas. And the song that I like most from that album is It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas. Classic crooner Christmas.
And one that I had that I pulled off of the list, it's from the Michael Bublé Christmas EP, Christmas EP that he had out before. I can't remember what it's called. But his version of Grown Up Christmas List I thought was great. My number 1 Christmas album is The Carpenters' Christmas Collection. Growing up, I remember hearing Christmas Portrait. My mother loves that album, and we heard it all the time, and I'm not mad about it. It's phenomenal. My track recommendation is Ave Maria.
Now I'm just picturing you singing it around the house and your son crying in a corner.
Opera.
Speaking of Carpenters, your mom loves the Carpenters at Christmas time. That's all I've been seeing that she's been listening to here lately is
I told you.
Carpenters Christmas music.
Yes, the reason I recommend the collection is because it's double disc. You get more music than there was on Christmas Portrait. And though it makes it a little more uneven of an experience, I still like most of the new editions.
New Edition. I like New Edition too.
What's that song? Still in Love with You by New Edition.
Who sings Cool It Now? Is that Color Me Bad?
I think it actually is New Edition.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, moving on to my next pick. It's Merry Christmas by Mariah Carey. Come on, you guys. It ain't Christmas without Mariah. And of course, the song that I chose from that album is All I Want for Christmas Is You. Mariah fucking Carey Christmas.
Number 2 for me is A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Not surprised.
It's the Vince Guaraldi trio that does the music for that. Most of what you find these days actually is an expanded edition as well. It's all great. My standout from it, though, is still the vocal version of Christmas Time Is Here.
That's a good one. Next on my list is Finally It's Christmas by Hanson. For those of you that don't remember Hanson...
You getting way out there. I'm having some trouble backing you.
Okay, I'm going to bring you back. Don't worry.
I haven't heard it. I'm just giving you shit. So Hanson fans, I'm sorry. I'm shutting up.
Well, it's not completely out of your character to
I like Mbop. I will say that. That's all I know.
They have so much better stuff to offer.
Cool.
Anyway, it's Christmas. Give me the gift of not fucking with me this holiday.
Not gonna happen.
Anyway, the song that I chose from that album is Finally It's Christmas. That's the title song. The only thing that I can say about this album is it's fun, Christmas, good harmonies, and they've come a long way in growing their sound as they've gotten older and had their own children.
I think what she meant to say was harmonies.
What did I say?
Harmonies.
Harmonies nuts!
Oh, God. Third pick for me is Charlotte Church. The album's called Dream a Dream. She was a young operatic vocalist. So if that appeals to you. She does more traditional stuff. There was also a little boy country singer who I can't for the life of me think of his name, but he does the title track with her on that album. I'm telling you, it's going to hit some...
All I can think about is Walmart yodeling kid right now.
Yeah.
Is it that guy?
No, it's not that guy. It's just... it definitely takes me back to Walmart days. But the song I recommend is Ding Dong Merrily on High. Still one of my faves from the CD. Pretty much great from start to finish, though. What's next for you?
Next on my list is That's Christmas to Me by Pentatonics. And I will say, usually I try to stay away from the religious songs at this time of year. It takes something really special to grab me as far as like the religious songs. This is one of them. My favorite song from That's Christmas to Me by Pentatonics is Mary Did You Know? All I can say is Acapella Bliss.
White Winter Hymnal. Dog, where you at on the White Winter Hymnal? That's my track from that album. Okay.
What's your next pick?
Elvis's Christmas album, Elvis Presley. There was a Christmas where I had no home, essentially. Actually, I'm saying that wrong. I had just moved in with my cousin to an apartment in, I don't know, it's about 30 minutes away from everybody that we know. So I stayed at my grandmother's house the night before and got to re-experience something from my childhood where Christmas is nowhere near ready for anyone. And the whole family was up for a Christmas Eve thing. And I stayed up all night listening to Elvis's Christmas album. Got to be about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And Grandma gets up and we just drank coffee and listened to Elvis. My track is There'll Be Peace in the Valley for me. Very religious, but the kind of religious that I like. The nature-leaning, feel good.
Sounds good to me, dog. Next up for me is CeeLo's Magic Moment by CeeLo Green. The song that I chose off of this album, this song was originally done by Stevie Wonder, and that's What Christmas Means to Me. Stevie Wonder version is very good. CeeLo Green's version just adds a little bit more fun and funkiness to it. This is a fun, funky R&B take on Christmas.
I can get behind it.
The cover is reindeer pulling like a Rolls Royce, a purple Rolls Royce.
I still see it in my head. I'm a CeeLo person. Yeah. We go way, way back. Okay. So
then I don't need to explain anything to you.
Oh, yeah. Next up for me is And Winter Came by Enya. I'm not, just as with Carpenters, I don't really listen to Enya from day to day. But when the holidays roll around, this is a phenomenal album. And recommendation for me is Last Time by Moonlight. One of my favorite songs. I actually listen to that song all year long. So
I love that we're doing this because I'm hearing titles of Christmas songs that I didn't even know existed. But hey, isn't that why we do these things?
By the way, since we're not adding music into the show, because what I actually want to happen is for people to hear 30-second or so clips of each song. But the only way they even let that happen is if you just have the free version of Spotify. If you are a premium member, they make you listen to the whole song. So just a reminder that we will be adding these tracks to our playlists on Spotify. Rayburn Alexander, Shane Wyndham. Go look us up, look for our lists, and you'll hear it.
Oh, they're there and ready to go.
What's next?
Next on my list is The Christmas Song by Nat King Cole. And the song that I chose from that is The Christmas Song.
Solid.
This is classic original Gangsta Christmas.
Was that just Chappelle's Show running through your head? You have to
Yes.
call it gangster?
Yeah, I'm not going to apologize for it. If you see him sitting in that chair with a roaring fire behind him, yeah, that's pretty gangsta. Anyway, this is classic Christmas. You have heard this song if you're a person.
What kind of Christmas is it again?
Classic original gangsta Christmas.
All right. Fantastic.
You seem like you want to comment.
I already did. You just didn't catch it. I made you say classic again. It's funny to me. I'm drinking and I'm kind of trolly.
You're a dick. Moving on.
So people are going to think I'm kidding about my next pick. I'm not.
Okay.
It's a Rodney Carrington album.
He's not kidding.
It's called Make It Christmas, and I'm recommending the title track. The reason this is here is because it's a serious album, and it's a good album.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to hear a slightly country, slightly easy listening Rodney Carrington singing with what turns out is a gorgeous singing voice, doesn't sound at all like his comedy, go listen to Make It Christmas.
Hold on, give me a minute.
Did you bring all ciders?
No.
You have a look on your face like you're lying to me.
No, I didn't. I brought some sparkling drinks and ciders, and I think I maybe have crafted hard lemonade. Oh god, this smells like a fart. It's Bramble.
It's the ghost of Alyssa Past coming to get you.
Shotgun spiked set. We should be listing what we're drinking. I have not been doing that.
I already said what I'm drinking.
The first drink I had was a Stella Artois cider, recommended to me by Shane at Thanksgiving. So I got that, and now I'm starting the Shotgun Spiked Seltzer Bramble, Blackberry and Lemon.
Their spritzer is great, the Stella Spritzer, and they have some midnight beer that's out there right now, like a dark coffee porter type taste. Oh my damn.
So this,
Maybe I have one in the fridge. This is not going to last me. This is the end of the bottle.
I can see the bottle. I know it's not. I can see how low the bottle is.
Where we at?
I said it smelled like a fart. It tasted like popcorn at first, and now I'm starting to taste the fruit. So if that's for you, yeah, you might want to try that one. Anyway, this turned into a rating and review.
I remember being really drunk at a party, and the only beer we had at one point was this cooler of stuff that I had brought. So people started drinking with me. Not going to name any people, but I couldn't put my finger on what something tasted like. We grabbed Shiner Black, I think, and started drinking the Shiner Black. And the person I was drinking with primarily finally said, you know, this tastes like burnt popcorn to me. And that's exactly what the fuck it tasted like. It wasn't a bad thing, though, because beer is bready. It played really well. I don't know.
I feel like the top of this can just smells.
Why are you sniffing your cans?
Because I sniff every time I go to take a drink.
Are we ever going to finish this list? Or are you going to trip on this fart-smelling
No, I'm sorry.
can?
Yeah,
forever?
we are. Okay, moving on to my next pick. It's Every Day is Christmas by Sia. The song that I chose off this album was Santa's Coming for Us. It's upbeat pop, blues, and jazz Christmas. Shane, this is later Sia, not early Sia. Because we know how you feel about early Sia.
I still might never actually go listen to this, so
That's fine.
I'll hear it on your list.
Yeah, your next pick.
It is John Denver and the Muppets, Christmas Together. I did not appreciate this album when I first heard it. It's grown on me a lot since. If you ever want to hear pretty much the only listenable version of the 12 Days of Christmas, that's on there. The one I'm recommending, though, is Silent Night, because they start off in German, and it reminds me of choir in elementary and having to learn Silent Night in German and English and sign language. Yeah, it's good shit.
I'm going to take your word for it on that one. I did see that John Denver album was like one of the most popular Christmas albums. So good on you.
It's pretty good. Not very long either, so.
You got decent taste. Next on my list is A Motown Christmas by various artists. Some of these artists include the Jackson 5, The Temptations, Stevie Wonder, and more. But the song that I chose off the album is I Want to Come Home for Christmas by Marvin Gaye. This is classic Motown holiday. What's not to love about that?
I said, come on, clap your hands.
Clap. Clap.
I think I'm thinking of some Earth, Wind, and Fire song. But
No, you're thinking of the...
yeah, it's Joy to the World, I think, by Earth, Wind, and Fire that's going through my head.
That's not what I thought of.
Oh, okay.
I thought the To the Left.
Oh, good
Take it back
God.
now, y'all.
Good God. The fucking cha-cha slide is going through your head right now?
Yes.
Oh, my damn. Okay. So this is one most people probably haven't heard. It's Blackmore's Night. The album's called Winter Carols. The song I'm recommending is Christmas Eve. It's very bombastic. Most of their stuff is Scarborough Fair type music.
That is not what I think of when you say bombastic.
Well, that's what I was trying to say is most of their discography is going to lean closer to kind of acoustic gypsy type sounds. This has more of horns and big drums, but it does have those other moments. I mean, it's still Richie Blackmore at the lead with the female vocalist that just kills.
Now I got Mr. Lover Lover playing over in my head.
Shabba Ranks?
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Lover Lover.
They call me Mr. Bombastic. That's a good song. Anyway.
Wait. Is that right?
Yeah.
What did Shaggy do?
He did Wasn't Me, and he did Mr. Boombastic.
Mr. Boombastic is Shaggy.
Yeah.
Mr. Loverman is Shabba Ranks.
Yes.
Right, okay.
I didn't correct you when I heard it the first time, so don't feel bad. Anyway. Alcohol. Moving on. My next pick is the Beach Boys Christmas album by, guess who? The Beach Boys. Yaha, my daddy told me so.
What's your song?
Little Saint Nick. All I can say about this album is you wouldn't expect the Beach Boys to do a good Christmas album. Usually they're all about fun in the sun. This is a very Beach Boys Christmas, and it's exactly what you expect, and you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, I've never heard the album in its entirety. Every song that I've heard off of it, though, has been good, so...
You know what I would equate it to?
What?
Christmas lights on a palm tree.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
So there you go. What's your next pick?
Mr. Hankey's Christmas Classics.
Of course.
It's a South Park themed Christmas album.
Mm-hmm.
It does not disappoint. There are quite a few serious moments in spite of the comedic bent to everything. And what I like about this is most characters get a go. You know, it's not all Cartman.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all Mr. Hankey, but the one I'm recommending is Cartman. It's Swiss Colony Beef Log. And the reason is because every time I hear that song, I think of Corey. I'm trying to think of how to explain this.
Mm-hmm.
So I always had multiple Christmases, and I went back and forth from my mom's to Sandra's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew...
And Sandra is?
Corey's mom. And Corey's my cousin. Sandra's my aunt.
So she's your dad's sister?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry. My dad wasn't around, but Corey and I were close, and I lived off and on with them, and I still went over there pretty much every week or every weekend. So I knew the moment we got to Sandra's from our normal household Christmases, him at his dad's, where he would see his grandparents, they always gave him giant ass beef log. Like always came home with the Swiss Colony log, and he'd tear that thing the fuck up. Like, that's all he did Christmas. He'd just sit there cutting into it slowly and eating and watching TV or listening to music. We didn't go anywhere. And so Cartman gets really sad because it's Christmas and he sees all the presents wrapped, but he can tell there's no Swiss Colony beef log. What's your next pick?
Last on my list is White Christmas by Bing Crosby. Teacher says every time about... Wrong movie. I hit the thing.
It's a Wonderful Life. Go ahead.
Yeah, anyway, the song that I picked off that album is White Christmas. The only thing that I can say about this album is imagine the warm hug of Christmas. That's what you get.
So my favorite version of White Christmas, the song, is by Otis Redding. So I want to throw that out there.
Okay.
If you've watched Love Actually, you've heard that version too. It's just great.
Mm-hmm. Otis Redding is amazing.
Yeah.
Highly underrated. But that's my last pick. What is yours?
Last one for me is Trans-Siberian Orchestra. The album I went with is The Lost Christmas Eve, and I went with the title track. Some of the other Trans-Siberian albums, you can't really go wrong with their Christmas albums. This isn't their strongest, I'm the first to admit that, but the songs that are good on here are extremely good, and The Lost Christmas Eve is something that I almost want to listen to year-round because it is that good. I was a fan of Trans-Siberian for a long time without even listening to their music. I didn't realize that some of the songwriters that are associated with that group are also associated with Savatage, which is one of my other favorite musical artists. And what's funny is that TSO is probably best well known for Sarajevo. It's the main one that everybody knows.
I can hear Carol of the Bells.
Yeah, it's
Carol of the Bells?
Yeah, but it's not called that. I want to say it's Christmas Eve, and then the subtitle or the secondary title is Sarajevo.
It's the dun 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 dun.
And that was taken directly from a Savatage album and put onto a TSO album that existed before TSO did. So a little bit of insight there. And that's all I have for this. Shall we get on to... No, I've been drinking. Let's take our break.
So I noticed you got some shot glasses over there, man.
I do.
What's that about?
I was going to try this rice stuff you got me.
Can I try some with you?
You know what's freaking me out is I've seen this made online.
Really?
Yeah.
They're on Facebook? They only...
No, not on Facebook.
Oh,
man.
the rice liquor?
Here, you should hold it. Yeah, which I know for a fact they kind of make sticky rice and they let it ferment. Mm-hmm. They essentially let it rot in a bunch of water. They put it in a cloth and strain it out. And once the alcohol is all made there, and it takes months, they run it through a still.
They only make a certain number of bottles at a certain time. So they only have 2 different kinds at this point. And it was so cool because I went in there just to buy a bottle, and I was the only person in there. And they were like, well, you can't buy a bottle without trying the bottles first. So they sit me down at this really cool bar and give me samples and...
They forced you to sample it before you bought it?
Yes.
I need to start shopping there.
And...
it'd be like going to a restaurant and you sit down and...
Dude, they brought
I'll take a number 3. No, you've got to try the number 3 before you can actually buy it.
They brought out jerky and stuff to kind of cleanse my palate and see how it tastes with it. So, and the people were super nice, but I fell in love with, and the bottle looks badass.
That's better than sake.
Thank you. That's what I thought too. And I got to meet the guy that designed their label and did all the interior design. And I thought this was a really, really cool rice liquor. Again, this came from Suti. They're a local rice distillery in Kennedale, Texas. Check them out. Support local business.
If you can.
If you can.
A lot of people can't.
Well, all I'm going to say is they gave me a discount. And I would have paid full price.
Whew.
Without question.
That's pretty perfect as far as... I know. Sips go.
They had another one. The rice in this bottle comes from a specific place in Louisiana, and it's only specific to a certain location. The other bottle, it's got a lion on the front. It actually comes from one place past Beaumont, Texas, specific to that location as well. They're both unique as where they get the rice. So I just thought it was really, really cool. And they bottle everything and do everything in-house. So it was pretty cool.
That's phenomenal. Coats your mouth really nicely. It doesn't have this burn in your mouth. Mm-hmm. It's all in your chest where you want to feel it. Mm-hmm. That's very nice.
Perfect drink for the holidays.
Yes.
Moving on to our next list, which is...
Traditions?
5 of them, right?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to let you go first.
All right. So the nerd in me every year likes to do a jigsaw puzzle. My preference is 1,000-piece puzzles. I like them to be Christmas themed or winter themed this time of year. I lived with my grandmother when I was 18, 19, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. It was just she and I in a newer trailer. Mm-hmm. For a while. And the majority of what we did when we both weren't at work, she was a nurse and I worked at the bowling alley, but on the days where we had the ability to spend time together, we would do jigsaw puzzles, listen to oldies. Mm-hmm. It was always really nice and just always takes me back there.
Spoiler alert, they both still like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grandma even has sorters now for the colors.
Yeah.
That's her kitchen table. It's just boxes of puzzle pieces everywhere.
Upped her game a little bit. One of my favorite things about us going to the cabin that you've started, like when we go as a family, which we've only gone twice, but you always bring a puzzle and we always must complete it before we leave.
Yep.
And we're only there for 3 days?
I've seen y'all do 1,000-piece puzzles in like 6 hours though.
That's true.
Because a bunch of people got in on it.
One Halloween, you made it a part of a challenge.
It was a little bitty puzzle and I'm pretty sure it was just the edge.
It was just the edge, but that's the same Halloween that I decided to carve a random pumpkin that I didn't need to carve.
Yeah.
I found a pumpkin in his house. I thought it was a part of the thing. So I just start carving it and ripping this thing apart. And Shane walks up to me and he's like,
If I could help people recreate what we did that night, that's one of my favorite things we've ever done. It was almost like an escape the room.
It was so fun. So well thought out.
Clues leading you to one place to another. Anyway, we're off in the woods. What's your first tradition?
Halloween. My first tradition is, as a child, my parents and my grandmother used to have us walk down the hallway to the Christmas tree and presents, oldest to youngest in the back, youngest in front. And that could only happen after my dad and grandmother had gotten 2 cups of coffee in their system. So we weren't even allowed to see the Christmas tree or presents until someone came to get us.
Meaning you had to stay in your room.
Mm-hmm.
What I remember going over to your house when everyone lived in Pilot Point is Christmases where I always thought Christmas morning was cool. You know, you'd see all the presents beforehand, and then there's more presents and some that are on display or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Your house was...
the entire living room.
Yes. It was like stuff was already coming out of the tree, and then by the time Christmas morning rolls around, it's most of the living room is just covered in presents.
Yes.
It made me wonder for a while, like, what does your dad do on the side? Just saving up for Christmas. Because damn.
Trick. Both of my parents did. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
That never went through my head for some reason.
No, but yeah, Shane's not bullshitting. It's a little ridiculous how crazy the present situation, because my Santa or my mother, whichever you choose, would lay them out in a very specific way where everyone's name was shown. So they were all kind of spaced out a little bit, but it was a little much. But yeah, me, my brother, my sister, and once Blue joined the mix, Blue would come over first thing in the morning on Christmas. And we would all go in one room, and usually it was my room because I was at the end of the hallway, and we would walk out, Blue, me, Logan, and my sister. And we would have to open presents the exact same way, except youngest, oldest. And you could not go before the person before you finished opening their gift. And I always went after Logan, and I hated it. He took forever.
Sorry about your life.
Yeah. Anyway, what's your first tradition? Second tradition. Sorry.
Yeah. My second is playing We Wish You a Merry Christmas, which is a video game on the Wii. The original Wii. Mm-hmm. I would recommend going and buying the system just to play this game. It's the only Christmas game, the only Christmas video game I've ever played that I thought was really worthwhile. It's like Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort. It's a collection of mini games that all have to do with Christmas. But there's like, the loading screen stuff is all like a Christmas tree that you can decorate, and there's a fireplace, and you can play music on this little jukebox thing. And there's elf bowling.
I think I remember the elf bowling. I think you did it for a Christmas party, like some little mini games in like another end of the house or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I lean on that every year just for a little while, just to have fun with it. Yes.
Go to where people can just sit down and do something together.
Yes, and it actually follows a calendar, so you can log in daily and get different little things for like a Christmas scrapbook, I think. And then on Christmas, everything changes. Like
that's cool.
On Christmas Day, it's a very good game.
Next on my list is watching The Wizard of Oz and A Christmas Story near Christmas. Yes, I am aware The Wizard of Oz is not a Christmas movie. To me, it is, because it recreates the spirit of Christmas for me. It used to always come on TNT around Christmas time when we were younger. That and A Christmas Story. A Christmas Story would always be played on repeat on Christmas Eve. And it just brings me back to when we were really young. Logan and Alyssa and I would all sleep in one room the night before Christmas, kind of avoid trying to sneak through to go to somebody else's room.
Yeah.
So we would sleep in one room the night before Christmas, and my mother sleeps with the TV on. So as children, we slept with the TV on. That's not the case anymore because it's a waste. But anyway, not getting into that. This would play on repeat, and periodically one of us would wake up throughout the night, or we would stay up as late as we possibly could, and we would usually fall asleep watching this movie.
Your household slept with TVs on in most places, right?
Yes, thanks to Mom. But when I got to be about a teenager, I slept with the TV off, which is actually what Dad prefers.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never been able to do that.
Well, Mom watches crime dramas, and I don't want to hear about, and they found her body in a ditch. She had been sexually assaulted. Like, I'm 10. I don't need to hear that. Nightmares. Anyway.
Have nightmares. They'll keep you safe, Rayburn.
I've been pretty safe.
All right. Well, next up for me is going to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra concert. I recommend it. If you're going to have an experience that just feels like Christmas, you don't have to get dressed up, but we always get dressed up and we try to get seats as close to the stage as we can. Mm-hmm. Pro tip. Don't get them, they're normally at like a basketball stadium here in Dallas. Don't get them on the floor. Get them on like the side, the left or right side of the stage in the stadiums, but pretty low down. Mm-hmm. That's what we're always looking for.
Tickets on the sides are cheaper.
Yes.
Too. So, you ready for this one?
Yep.
The Christmas pickle. So, for
Why don't you tell everyone all about the Christmas pickle?
I'm going to tell you about the Christmas pickle.
I got a feeling this might not be my forte.
Well, you be given that Christmas pickle.
Yup.
Okay. This is what is known as a German tradition, although it's been questionable about where this derives from. To hide a pickle ornament, you hide a pickle ornament in the tree, and the fastest person to find it would either receive the first gift of Christmas or receive an extra gift. I usually hide a Christmas pickle ornament on my tree, and the first one of my brother's kids to find it when we have our Christmas celebration usually will receive an extra gift. Which, spoiler alert, it's the Goosebumps DVD, so I really hope you guys find it. So,
Jack Black.
Yeah. So the Christmas pickle, it's becoming more and more well known in America, but it's supposed to derive from German tradition. I just thought it was goofy and kind of stupid, and it just gives me another reason to give someone another gift on Christmas. So
yeah, I didn't read a lot of your stuff in depth.
Did you see the Christmas pickle and you
I
were
did
like,
see
what
the Christmas
the hell?
pickle, yes, and I moved right along.
It's the gift I get on Christmas.
Speaking of moving right along, fourth tradition for me is a white elephant gift exchange. I prefer what we do with codes almost every year at this point, which is ugly sweater is the theme. And then they do the white elephant exchange, which I don't know if you can say white elephant. There's another
Chinese gift exchange.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different names for it.
Yeah, and a lot of different things have been done in the past. Essentially, you take a wrapped gift, you get a number, you get called at random, people can steal your gift, that sort of thing. In the past, we've done a mixture of like real gifts that have, $20, $40 price tags mixed in with just shit you want to get rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad certain parties have stopped doing the mixed exchange because I get kind of intoxicated. Shocker, I know. But one year, I think the first year, I brought home, we had a giant bottle of liquor and some other stuff was there too. I want to say there was a gift card or something in the bag, and I traded it for a cookie jar that looks like a fox. I don't know why, and I still have it. My wife thought I was kidding when I said I was taking it home. Or maybe that I was just trying to be nice so someone else had a good gift. No, I wanted that fucking cookie jar. Even sober the next day, I wanted that fucking cookie jar.
You are the king of getting rid of shit during a white elephant gift exchange. You'll put extra gifts in a white elephant gift exchange just to get rid of some shit. My favorite thing I ever got was a router. You put a router, an old ass router, and some VHS tapes in a box.
Mm-hmm.
I got it one year. It was extra, but...
My favorite memory from any of that was Jennifer intoxicated. My Aunt Jennifer intoxicated at one of them. And she got this giant box. And she took the wrapping paper off of it. And the box was taped shut. And she's drunk, so she's impatient. And she just steps on top of the box and falls into the box. Luckily, it was like throw pillows and, rugs and that sort of thing. But anything could have been in there, and that could have been bad.
You know what? That's a lady that climbs in an elevator with you to nowhere.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, the person that jumps on top of a box. Fuck this box. Fuck your rape wine. Fucking make me take this shit off of a gift and it's still taped.
Speaking of your rape wine.
Falls into it, looks at me. Fuck you. Okay.
I just found out that Blue got mad at me the other day because I drank all the rape wine and he didn't get to have but a swig of it. And I told him, I said, if you'd let me know you liked it, I might have saved you some. Because that shit don't stay around for long.
No, and it wasn't meant to. But we don't have to talk about that. I will say that I did not start calling it rape wine. That was people at the party who liked it so much.
A bunch of us girls. So yeah. I think that, that's not something that came up with by a man. A bunch of girls at a party, myself included.
It was just like, oh, we like this so much, we're going to get raped. Like, I'm family. You're not about to get raped.
Someone said, grape
Even
juice.
if you weren't family, you're not about to get raped.
Grape juice. This is rape juice. And then we started calling it rape wine because a bunch of us got drunk off of it. I think that was the first time you made it.
Anyway, where are we at?
Next on my list is, for top 5 traditions, spending Christmas Eve as a family. Since we've gotten older and we all live in separate locations, the tradition has been to usually get together at my house and have a gift exchange, play games, eat, just do something as a family. In past years, we've usually, showed up in our pajamas and spent the whole day in our pajamas. I've done games. I've done Christmas Jeopardy, that saran wrap ball thing that you unwrap and whatever you get to unwrap during your time, you get to keep sort of thing. That was fun. But I develop a bunch of games for kids, and it's just a good day spent with family that we usually try to avoid traveling on Christmas Day because that shit is crazy.
Yes, it is.
So we spend Christmas Eve together as a family. What's next on your list for top 5 traditions?
Just going for a light drive. Like if you've got kids, or even especially this year, get out of the house, put some Christmas music on that you actually enjoy. If there's no Christmas music you can enjoy, listen to death metal or something. You know, it needs to be out of the ordinary, but drive around and just appreciate the effort that goes into people putting lights up everywhere.
I agree.
It's magical. And if you're a kid, they're going to remember that. So do that for sure.
This isn't my tradition, but one of Blue's fondest memories of when he was a kid is his Uncle Sidney took him, his mom, his sister, and I think Sidney had rented a limo or something, stocked it with hot chocolate, and they went around and got to look at Christmas lights. Blue said that was one of the coolest things that he got to do at Christmas time as a kid. Remember the magic of Christmas, especially when it comes to children this holiday season or any holiday season. Don't take that away from them because the magic of this world fizzles out as you get older. Just remember where it came from.
What's your last tradition?
My last tradition is enjoy crockpot apple cider. When we get together as a family at Christmas, I usually make homemade apple cider that my sister loves dearly. Some of the ingredients include apples, surprise, cloves, oranges, cinnamon, etc. So I will usually be brewing that all day, and we will enjoy it throughout the day.
I like eggnog.
My sister likes eggnog too, but I prefer cider, so I usually make it, but I will usually buy one thing of eggnog for just her.
All right. So we're going to do films now.
Yeah.
Our top films. And we're just going to switch back. We're going to go pretty quick through this, okay?
Okay.
So for every one you do, I'm going to do 2.
You overachiever.
I suck, I know.
Yeah.
I was trying to run the gamut, and the gamut was a little longer than I anticipated.
Can I open another drink, though?
Yeah.
Shane, what is this?
That's a black cherry Bud Light seltzer.
Let's see what all the
fuss is about.
That's good. Okay. That's my review. That's good.
Yeah.
I'll go first. A Christmas Story.
Diner is my top Christmas film. Second is Christmas Unwrapped, The History of Christmas, which was a special on the History Channel. I love that.
Elf.
Little Women, the 1994 version. And Dutch.
I'm sensing a theme with yours, but let's keep going. The Santa Claus. Papa Gijo.
Love Actually, and Jeff Dunham's very special Christmas special.
Next on my list is How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey version.
I've got the Muppet Christmas Carol or Disney's 2009 A Christmas Carol. You really can't go wrong with most any iteration, but Muppets or Disney's 2009 version are my top.
The 2009 version gets a lot of hate.
I liked it. Saw it in theaters, really liked it. I would also say Grumpy Old Men.
Next on my list is Home Alone.
Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. And the Trailer Park Boys Christmas special. Trust me.
Well, since we're riding the funny train, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That's a good one. Lovely Still. It's a very emotional film. Lovely Still. And The Snowman, which it's the cartoon based on the book.
Okay.
There's some other snowman thing out there. It's not what the hell I'm talking about.
Jack Frost.
Not a live action thing, no.
Okay. Yeah, it's Jack Frost. Next on my list is The Polar Express.
It's a Wonderful Life and The Night Before.
And that's the movie with Seth Rogen, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So much better than it should be.
Isn't there an original to that? Isn't that a remake?
I don't know.
Okay. Next on my list is White Christmas.
Prancer and A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Jingle All the Way.
Fred Claus, totally underrated. And something most people have probably never seen called The Christmas Toy.
I don't think I've seen that.
It was a Henson thing, more for kids. You might not enjoy it too much if you're an adult that takes yourself too seriously. Anyway.
Okay. Last on my list is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer from 1964.
8 Crazy Nights or the 94 version of Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused.
Why?
Was Bad Santa not in your list?
I have a note to make. Honorable mentions include Trading Places.
I fully support that one.
Yes. I usually don't consider this a Christmas movie, but it's too good to leave out. It is set at Christmas time. Bad Santa.
And I totally did not appreciate the second one when I first saw it.
Because it was an honorable mention?
No, Bad Santa 2.
Oh, 2.
Yeah, so I would definitely agree with the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is just as hilarious. It may take you a little while to realize it is.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is great.
All I can think about is you telling me about that Christina Hendricks scene.
Kathy Bates is in it.
Plays his mom, his mom,
His
right?
mom.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Christina
Yeah.
scene. I gotta tell you, and I'm not normally one to go for the emotional shit, but you got some big ass titties.
Another honorable mention that's on my list is Scrooged with Bill Murray. I have a question for you, though. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I think we should not hate on people who think that it is.
Okay, that's respectful.
There are people who don't like Christmas music. I think this is a Christmas movie for those type of people.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like people of the mentality where
Okay.
they want a tradition, but they don't want that
Better question.
hokey.
Better question for you. Do you think Die Hard is a Christmas movie?
I don't associate it with Christmas, no.
Agreed. Anyway, sorry. Had to get that out of the way.
So we should also mention
Mm-hmm.
Home Alone 2 is great.
Yes.
The original How the Grinch Stole Christmas is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You said Rudolph.
Yes.
I prefer Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
That's fine.
And other two things that I wanted to clarify here. I would now agree with my sister Katie in saying that Home for the Holidays is the Thanksgiving movie if you need one.
JTT.
No.
Home for the Holidays?
Jonathan Taylor Thomas is in that?
Yeah. And Jessica Biel? Or is that I'll Be Home for Christmas?
It's I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Okay. Dang it.
Talking about the family that goes home for Thanksgiving. It's got Robert Downey Jr. in it and a bunch of other people.
Okay.
But for some reason, I think it's because it's snowy out there in this movie and it's not normally snowing here. I think of it as a Christmas film. No, it's a Thanksgiving film and it totally works.
Did you like my Thanksgiving film suggestion?
I don't remember what it was now.
Wow.
There were a lot of them.
Son-in-law.
Yeah, I actually did like that one.
Okay. It makes sense.
It makes sense in the holidays. Do you have a New Year's film? Anything that you watch on New Year's?
You know what? I don't. Because usually I'm not like a partier at New Year's or anything, but usually I'm not sitting around watching movies. Usually I'm spending it in a hotel room with my cousin and my aunt and family because we've recently been getting together for New Year's, which is something that I look forward to. We won't be doing that this year.
Yeah.
I'll think back fondly on past years.
You were talking about us.
What the hell?
I'm thinking about New Year's.
We spend New Year's together usually.
Yes.
At least past couple of years.
I was going to say that When Harry Met Sally is my New Year's film.
Okay.
And there are times where I'll watch Diner on New Year's as well.
Can I tell you something?
You've never seen Diner,
No.
along with most people.
No, I've seen Diner. I've never seen When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, you should fix that pronto.
I probably should.
Like,
I haven't seen a lot of Meg Ryan movies.
it's not so much about,
She was really, really popular at that time.
she was great in the film.
I know
It's
the
a great
classic,
movie.
like scenes from the movie. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You have to sit down and watch it in its
Okay.
entirety. It's
Maybe-
one of those.
Maybe I'll do that for New Year's this year because I'm not going to be doing shit else.
Yeah. It's going to give you the feels. It'll make you feel like you're past Christmas, but there's still something magical about what's happening.
I'll do it.
All right.
All right.
Final part during our break here is our top 5 memories of Christmas.
Oh, yeah. This is our break. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Number 1 for me is sitting around the tree Christmas morning and my grandmother and dad getting to have 2 cups of coffee before we open presents. Usually it was I need this to prepare for the chaoticness of opening up presents. The note that I want to make at this time is my brother taking forever to open every gift because he would have to flex his muscles, shake his hands, and hoorah-rah before he opened every gift. And unfortunately, I went behind him every time.
Poor you.
Poor me. What's
So-
first on yours?
Before you existed,
Mm-hmm.
I spent a lot of time with your parents. There was a Christmas Eve it had to be Christmas Eve on Bobolink where we stayed over the house they had on Bobolink Street.
Mm-hmm.
And they had talked earlier about how we would be able to see Santa and his reindeer in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was a comet or if it was just me being a hallucinating little kid because that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember being on Bobolink on Christmas Eve and seeing what I thought was Santa in the sky when looking out the window. So I have your parents to thank for that memory.
Mm-hmm.
What's next for you?
Next for me is holiday in the park spent with my family and friends. It's really, really, Six Flags over Texas is really, really done up at Christmas time. Christmas lights are everywhere. Usually they have a Christmas parade and you could drink and eat as much holiday treats as your wallet can manage. And I got to pick a friend, my brother got to pick a friend, Alyssa got to pick a friend, and my parents took us. And it was just one of the funnest times to get out of the house and be around people that I can remember spending at Christmas time.
Yeah. Holiday in the park is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Second for me is helping my mom get Christmas done on Christmas Eve. This has happened numerous times in my life. I found out there was no Santa Claus when I was, I think, 5. I opened a coat closet and happened to see all of like our stuff unwrapped in the closet. And I think because our Aunt Misty, who is 7 years older than me, I think, or maybe not even that much older.
I think she's 6. I think the age difference between you and her is the age difference between you and me.
But she had a bad habit of opening presents. She would unwrap them, rewrap them, and then she would go around the house and try to tell everyone, I know what you're getting for Christmas if you want to know.
Who does that?
She did that. But,
what the hell?
And there were plenty of times when my mom worked her ass off to go to school, to try to move up in the world and make better money. And she's done great for herself. But there were times when she didn't get the bonus or the big payout right until before Christmas. And I remember going to the mall and doing all the shopping and then having to help with all of the wrapping that evening and the setting up and trying not to be the world's biggest shit about it. Like
knowing what everybody's going to get. And yeah, it's a whole different sort of feeling because obviously you're the oldest in your family. I'm the oldest in my family. I think that's something that we have a mutual understanding and can say we're similar when it comes to oldest similarities. Getting to be let in on the secret and the magic of Christmas and getting to watch your younger siblings give that to them, that it's one of the best and sometimes stressful gifts you can give to your younger siblings. I found out much older than you. I kind of knew, I think 2 years before my parents actually told me. I think I found out when I was like 9, 10. But I knew earlier than that, but I knew it was important to my mom.
Yeah.
First of all, my mom's handwriting is very specific. Maybe don't write a letter from Santa. Maybe switch it up.
Use your other hand.
Yeah. Or let Dad write it. I think one year she let Dad write it. Dad's handwriting is pretty specific too, so I kind of knew. But I obviously wouldn't take that away from them. But there's something about being let in on the secret and getting to help give that. It's a good feeling.
It is.
So anyway, next on my list is opening my secret Santa present in front of the whole family. One year, we were having a secret Santa gift exchange at our Mama and Papa's, which is our Annie and Uncle Tommy. Shane calls them. I call them my mom and papa.
Great aunt and uncle.
Yeah, it's our great aunt and uncle on our mom, Shane's mom and my dad's side. My secret Santa was one of your sisters, the oldest sister. And she gave me my first thong at age 12 that I opened up in front of the entire family. And I remember specifically what it looked like. Red with red sequins. And I remember everyone making a big deal about how embarrassing it is.
Yep. And it's difficult to remember why. I mean, I remember being in the room and thinking, this isn't a big deal. And then seeing my mom's face and realizing that it's just because Annie's there.
Yes.
And we just gave panties to somebody.
Yes, which is so funny because...
because Annie doesn't wear panties.
No, she doesn't.
Come on.
But yeah, I think that was the beginning of a lot of looks of... And that was the first one that I ever experienced. And it's weird because I was opening it. It's not like I picked it out for myself.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking that it wasn't a big deal, but everybody else making it a big deal. So that's why it makes one of my top 5 memories of Christmas.
That's one of the things I think I've carried forward from them is wanting to give gifts that don't have shock value, but just aren't expected. Mm-hmm. Sometimes just being really heartfelt and, the way that is so memorable. Like last year, we got all of our awards with our plaque things.
I still have mine. That was one of the nicest things that anybody's done at Christmas.
Next up for me is seeing our cousin Mallory's father get arrested in front of the house right around Christmas. I was up alone watching White Christmas very late. Mm-hmm. And suddenly I'm seeing flashing lights. So
Santa!
I look out the window and there's a cop that has someone pulled over right in front of the trailer. And it took me a minute to realize it's fucking Makeup Man. It's Mallory's dad, Bobby, getting arrested. And I remember thinking, maybe this is a Christmas miracle. Maybe I won't have to see him again. And I've never seen him again.
I don't know where he he is either.
What's next for you?
Well, since you mentioned my parents early in your list, something that I carry with me as my top 5 memories is I found Santa's footprints in snow one morning. We live in Texas. You know damn well it's not snowing outside. But my parents recreated that magic of taking my dad's work boots and sprinkling flour around them throughout the house. So it looked as if Santa came in, dusted off his boots, put out presents, and left. My parents always went above and beyond to recreate the magic of Christmas for us as children, and it's something that I will forever carry with me and possibly my future children as something that I hold very, very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, they're kids in a candy store when it comes to things that have to do with wonder. One of my earliest memories, not my first memory, but right there, and I think is really defined as a standout from some of the other really not great memories that I have around that time, was it being snowy outside and your dad taking us out to Loop 288 and we slid down hills on
trash can lids and
yes, and in like the little plastic laundry baskets and rocking horse that people like. Those things really do stand out to kids, and you don't think they're going to, but they do.
High class white trash.
Yes.
What's next on your list?
I've mentioned before, there was a Christmas, I was engaged once before, and that did not end well, and it didn't end well right at Christmas, and I had been fighting with just about everybody anyway in the family. I lived alone with Grandma at that point.
Doing puzzles.
Yes. And then she moved our Aunt Misty back in with her kids, and I didn't get told about anything, and I came home to my furniture on the curb. I didn't have my room anymore. Suddenly I was in the middle of the trailer. I was bickering a lot with Joseph, and I didn't want to be. You know, I thought I needed to be the brother who swoops in and makes sure everything is okay, and I just couldn't.
You're playing your big brother role.
I was too young to stand back and just let things happen the way that they should. Anyway, really, really bad Christmas, and I didn't.
Tell me something good.
I didn't get anything for Christmas, which is understandable. I told everyone I didn't want anything. Okay. And when I tell you I was not in a good place and I was fighting with people, that's real. And what most people may not have realized is that I was suicidal in the extreme at that point. And I got into it with my mom in the driveway, and she threw a book at me, pissed off. And she said, I went ahead and fucking got you something. And she threw this book at me. And it was The Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck, and completely turned my outlook on life around. Some of the end of that book is still pretty hokey, but I do think of that as the thing that saved my life. That's a good Christmas memory for me.
Wow.
What's next for you?
Next on my list is the family gift exchange when Blue stole Papa's gift and earned his respect.
Yeah.
I think it was one of Blue's first family Christmas exchanges. There wasn't a lot of overlap when it came to Blue joining the family and Papa leaving because he died months after Christmas had occurred. And there was a tool set that was being floated around White Elephant Gift Exchange. And we were so lucky that Mama and Papa got to attend this gift exchange because typically, at least at that time, they didn't attend things like that just because, you know, they had their own side of the family that they did things with, which they still do, but Mama tries to make more things now. But I remember Papa getting this tool set and everybody being like, we're not going to take it from him. We can't do that. You know, that's Papa's. And Blue's like, fuck that. I really want that tool set. So he walked right up to him, took it from him, and sat back down. And the first thing out of Papa's mouth was, I like that boy. And it's something that I really, really love. And living in that moment, it just makes me realize how much Blue has been there.
Yeah.
And made so many memories within the 14 years that we've been together. And I'm so glad that for the short period of time that Blue got to know Papa, that Papa automatically respected him. And that's someone's opinion that I hold very, very near and dear to my heart.
He was a good guy.
Yeah, he was.
I feel like I should clarify before we move too much further that that Christmas I was just talking about, I'm pretty sure there wasn't a lot of money. And
so it's not like they actively chose not to get you
right.
a gift.
And there were kids around, and it was more, I think I owed Grandma money at that point because she helped me with a ticket I got or something. Like there was a lot going on. So it was more just, please don't give me anything because, I want other people to have presents if you've got the money to do it. So I don't want to make it sound like people just didn't care enough to give me anything.
I'm glad your mom ignored the fact that you said you didn't want anything for Christmas.
Yeah, me too.
Like you said, it ultimately saved your life.
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
So my last Christmas memory that I want to share is something that I'm going to miss from now on because it will no longer happen, is Christmas Eve mornings with my wife. We have family that we go and see on Christmas. We normally split our days just like Thanksgiving. Go see her family, go see mine. The notion of getting up on Christmas morning, opening all of the presents that we have for each other and going and doing all that as well was just tiring. And we knew it immediately. And so we had a tradition of doing our gift opening with each other on Christmas Eve. And I'm always going to look back fondly on that. But because I have a kid now, we no longer do that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm happy for those memories.
It's a happy thing that you have to sacrifice one moment for another moment.
Yes, and wouldn't change it, to be clear.
Yeah. That's sweet, you stupid dick.
Yep, that's me, stupid dick. Is that it for the memories?
That's it for the memories. I literally have no memories left.
Well, that was quite the break.
That was.
But let's go ahead and move on to the second half, otherwise known as the third of the show.
Let's get on to the real work.
We are back. I have Grolsch now, which is beer that I thoroughly enjoy.
Sounds like a sexually transmitted disease.
Thank you to Codes for not drinking all the Grolsch. I appreciate that. Yeah, it sounds really weird, but it's an excellent beer. If you like Stella Artois or Tsingtao.
Speaking of good recommendation on the Stella Artois. Liked it. And so far, I'm really enjoying the Bud Light seltzer, so.
It's weird. Doesn't taste like Bud Light, huh?
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Exactly.
Moving on to our top 10 song list.
I'll go ahead and start.
All
Number
right.
1 for me is O Come, Emmanuel. The version that I chose is by Dustin Kinsrew, lead singer of Thrice. Could take Inya's or Carpenter's as well. There are lots of good ones out there. But
You've done a cover of this, correct?
Yes.
Is that still available on YouTube?
I think so. It was just me toying around, though. It wasn't like a serious recording or anything.
It features the classic Brooklyn Beanie, if you know what I'm talking about. You know.
What's the first for you?
Christmas Blues by Sabrina Claudio.
Damn, that's a good beer.
Wow, rude.
Sorry.
Get you a beer that says,
I've been over here for like half an hour talking about memories with no drink. Unless I want to drink the old man.
I wouldn't be mad if you drank the old man. My first pick for top 10 Christmas songs is Christmas Blues by Sabrina Claudio featuring The Weeknd. This is fairly new to me. This was suggested, Spotify suggested it, and I just thought it looked interesting. First of all, it's got The Weeknd on it. Love The Weeknd. You will not be disappointed with this song. It's a newer take on Christmas music, and if you like The Weeknd, you're going to enjoy it.
Second for me is a song called No Room at the Inn. It's done by Mahalia Jackson. You may have never heard this song before as a Christmas norm. This is exquisite. Mahalia Jackson is exquisite. Highly recommended.
Next on my list is Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas by Frank Sinatra, because it wouldn't be Christmas without Crooner Christmas, and Frank Sinatra is the king of all crooners.
Third for me is Merry Christmas from the Family by Robert Earl Keen. And if ever there was a better representation in song of our family at Christmas get-togethers, I don't know what the hell it is. Every single thing about that song seems tailor-made for old Christmases in the family.
Mm-hmm. Next on my list is Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays by NSYNC. Speaking of family, if this was not on a Christmas playlist of some sort of fashion, especially this version, I don't want to be at that Christmas.
I like Under My Tree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've fought that album for a long time. Mm-hmm. You fight the NSYNC obsession. You're like, nah, dog, I can't. Don't make me go there. I'm already in Spice Girls world.
You cannot do that within a family of nothing but girls, man.
I know, but it's good. It's good. Next for me is Walking in the Air, the version from the Snowman film that's done by Peter Audi. I love it. Mm-hmm. You're going to hear that song again soon when we cover my hand-picked artist for this season.
Oh, yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah.
Next on my list is Run Run Rudolph by Chuck Berry. If you have watched any Christmas movie, you know this song. The good thing is no matter how many times it's played in those Christmas movies, it's never been played out.
Not to be confused with Run Run Reindeer by the Beach Boys.
Yes. Not to be confused.
Silver Bells by Johnny Mathis. It's a great song. He's a great artist for Christmas. And again, makes me think of my grandmother, Barbara.
Yes, Barbara, our grandmother together. I just want to double back on Run Run Rudolph and say that this is the first Christmas song that Gage has learned on the guitar. Gage is Blue's nephew, his oldest nephew. And I just want to say, I'm proud of you, bud. You're doing a good job. Keep it up. Next on my list is Santa Tell Me by Ariana Grande. This is, again, a newer song, but it is very unappreciated. A lot of those older Christmas songs get played a lot more, which is understandable. Those are classic Christmas, but I fully anticipate this song joining the ranks of those older Christmas songs.
Christmas Time by the Smashing Pumpkins. If you didn't know this exists, this exists. Even if you're a Pumpkins fan, you might hate this, but I don't.
Next on my list is White Christmas by The Drifters. So Bing Crosby was in my top 10 Christmas albums for White Christmas. But this version, if you've seen Home Alone, you know what I'm talking about. This song is not soon forgotten as one of the best White Christmas versions of this song.
Was Mele Kalikimaka on the Bing Crosby album?
I think so.
I know it's on one, but I don't remember. Anyway. Winter Wonderland by Louis Armstrong. Gotta have it. Inject it into my veins.
Next on my list is Under the Christmas Tree by Kelly Clarkson. Again, this is fairly new. I'm not sticking to strictly new songs. I just knew that Shane would be picking some older songs, so I wanted to give a little bit more of a variety. Not to say that I don't appreciate older songs, but if you want something that has a newer pop sound and you enjoy what Kelly Clarkson has to offer as far as vocal range, you're going to enjoy this song.
While you're on this new kick, have you heard Wonderful Christmas Time was redone?
I don't want to hear it. Who did it?
Jimmy Fallon did it with Paul McCartney, and I want to say I know I'm wrong. I know, yeah, it's the Roots. Thank you. I was gonna say Will I Am, and I'm like, that's wrong.
No,
that's Ooh that I'm thinking of.
The Roots are his. The Roots are his. Oh my band.
God! Ew.
So they did it on the show, I assume.
Yeah, and I think they do it. I think some of the people from the Roots do vocal a cappella instruments, with their mouths.
I know exactly what you're talking about. He does this. Yeah, he does this segment where it's just them and a bunch of like kid instruments. I think I know exactly what you're talking about, which I'm sure it's good. Most of them are good.
My 8th pick is Feliz Navidad by Jose Feliciano, or if you were on the Wyndham side of my family, growing up, it was Fleas on the Dog.
Nice.
Feliz Navidad, yes.
Fleas on the dog.
That's what I had to deal with.
You had dogs with fleas, though.
Yeah. So. And it was strange to be so integrated socially. Like, there was so much variety of color and culture and acceptance of sexuality and any type of gender norm, surprisingly for an 80s, 90s kid, but it was there. And then to come home and still see so much, not home is strong. There were fringes of the, No,
I'm just going to let you keep digging.
Yeah, I know. I'm digging this hole.
I don't know about your family, mine.
No, I'm not talking about mom and any of them. I'm not talking about a lot of the Wyndhams, actually. Just there's some people that I remember in the family being around who, the racist jokes behind closed doors. And I don't think it was I don't think they realized that it's still as harmful, as it can be. Just take it a little too far.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And let's just say it made us more tolerant. Anyway, it's Christmas. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Why are we so political?
God, I'm over here trying to talk about Santa. My next pick is The Christmas Waltz by She and Him. This is Zooey Deschanel's band. Don't even ask me what the guy's name is because I won't be able to tell you.
But he plays guitar.
He does. But I think he
sounds very
guitar-y.
50s, 60s.
It does.
Yeah.
But if you like what Zooey Deschanel sounds like an elf, you're going to like this song. And I think it was the best song on the album, in my opinion.
Christmas Day. That's my shit by She and Him. Christmas Day.
Christmas Day?
Yeah.
So I assume it's on that same album.
I don't know.
Okay.
Did they only have one?
I don't know.
This is
Welcome to Rated Radio.
This is another artist that I definitely, from what I've heard, I prefer the Christmas stuff. It's more appropriate sounding for Christmas for me than throughout the rest of the year. 9th pick, Try to Remain Seated, is We Need a Little Christmas by the Glee cast.
I didn't do it. Explain yourself.
I can't get into the show. I almost never want to hear the music, but this song is phenomenal.
Can I tell you, Blue hates that show because that show's a lie to him? He loves pentatonics. He loves a cappella groups. But every time he watches it, he's like, this is not a cappella. This is pre-recorded. So he's a stickler for Glee. So anyway, my next pick is Last Christmas by Wham.
Get your pudding mix on, y'all.
You cannot have Christmas without it. Feathered hair and gold earrings. Yes, please.
I know the song. I don't know anything about the visuals.
You know what George Michael looks like.
I do.
Okay, well then don't act like you don't know.
I never watched those music videos. I don't remember visuals being such a big thing in the music.
That's not the best form of George Michael. Well, not the form now because he's dead. But Faith, George Michael, yeah, it's nice. Anyway. Your next pick.
Last for me is Toyland by Doris Day. I just really like that song. I really like Doris Day too, her films.
Yeah, I'm seeing her. I know who you're talking about.
I never Googled nudes of Doris Day, so take that for what it is.
You would if they existed.
Right?
Yeah.
If the internet was a thing.
Yes. The literal reason why you haven't seen nudes of Doris Day is because they don't exist. That doesn't mean you weren't willing to look them up. Last on my list.
I just thought it was surprising that I hadn't even tried.
Oh, the internet. Blame it on the internet. Okay. Last on my list is Where Are You Christmas by Faith Hill, because the older we get, the more we seem to forget about the magic of Christmas. And it's very, very rare for an adult to still be able to get in touch with their younger selves and have a glimpse of what it means to have the Christmas spirit. It's not about the gifts. It's about making those that you love and those that maybe you don't know very well feel good in a time where you should be making each other feel good.
And now is a perfect time for me to bring up the fact that this might be the last season of Rated Radio. And the reason for that is I'm about to start putting my co-host on the spot, and if she can't answer correctly, then we're
done.
At a pass, an impasse.
We're done.
A pass that cannot be passed.
So does that mean that you have a question for me, or
can we agree that the version in the film done by the little girl of your song pick is the superior version?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. It's cuter, which that girl ended up being the lead singer of which band again? Which metal band? Shane, I'm about to blow your mind.
Blow my mind then.
She was in Gossip Girl. Heather Mordson or whatever. Look it up. It's a thing.
Is that a TV show?
God, you're so old. You're ancient. Anyway.
Speaking of being old and ancient, I wanted to give one bonus pick before we stop mentioning songs here, and that's to a musician friend of mine. And the reason that I'm using this bonus pick is not because he's a friend of mine, but because this is an instrumental. It's called Winterlude. If you're on Spotify, it's Kyle Aaron Ryan. Winterlude perfectly fits this time of year. It's gorgeous. Please go listen to it. What's next?
Top 5 foods, because people at Christmas time gotta eat.
And the rule for this section was they couldn't be Thanksgiving norms.
I'm all right.
Okay.
I'm all right.
You had a look on your face for a second like, oh, I didn't realize that.
I had to double check one thing, but no, I think I'm okay. I'm okay. All right.
Because this is a problem we run into every year. Christmas is too close to Thanksgiving to be redoing the same meal, but I feel like more and more we're just having a second Thanksgiving in places. Okay.
Which I wouldn't be mad at. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
I've gained 15 pounds since the holidays.
I love how things feel like a, what are they called? Just a random smattering of people bringing food. Potluck.
Potluck, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like potluck meals. And our family, say what you will about any of us, but Motherfuckers can cook.
What is it that you call them? Your dookie beans?
Man, don't bring up the dookie beans.
Your dookie beans and your mom's Oreo magic. I don't know what she calls it.
The Oreo balls?
No, she makes like that Oreo dessert with the whipped cream and it's almost...
Oreos. Are you talking about trifle with the angel food cake and the
she's
vanilla pudding
she's not
and berries?
fancy enough to put it in one of those dishes. She just throws it all in one big pan. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to miss that. And I'm going to miss Grandma going through and doing her... I'm going to load up 5 plates of food so that I can live off of it for the next week and a half.
Dookie beans, by the way, which have a real name that I can't think of right now because I've been drinking. That was something that I discovered at a karaoke show in Oklahoma. We went out there to do a show for a family on this private lot, and part of this giant barbecue set that they had were these beans that were, I mean, it's ranch style beans. Mm-hmm. It's a bunch of ground beef, and they put barbecue, like chopped beef or chopped brisket in it. But if you buy like a thing of Lloyd's barbecue brisket that you microwave and just throw that all together, there are other things you could do, like seasonings and stuff, which I do, but I'm not telling you. Anyway.
I love seeing that when we like have a family menu feed about who's bringing what, and Shane just gets on there and says, I'm bringing the dookie beans. Fucking beans. You bringing beans.
They take more time than a lot of things that motherfuckers cook and bring to family things. And I'm not allowed to bring them anymore.
Why?
Because your mom said she would kill me after last time.
Because of my dad.
Your dad eats
farts.
All the deviled eggs,
which
and
is my
doubles
fault,
up on these
usually.
beans.
So simultaneously,
Miss, I'm bringing normal deviled eggs and dill deviled eggs. Tell me about it.
I bring 3 different dishes usually, and your mom a bottle of wine. So don't even. I am a great person to have at holiday parties.
I didn't say you weren't.
Okay. All right, Dookie Beans. Let's move on to our next list, which is...
I said you need to aim your murderous rage at your daughter sometimes and not just at me.
I don't have a daughter.
Talking about your mom.
Oh,
literally talking about your mom. Saying she was going to murder me for the beans.
Hey, this is Rated Radio, and we've been drinking, and that's fine because it's the holidays.
We ain't even at number 1 yet.
No. Okay, I'm gonna go first. My top 5 foods, and you're gonna think this is bullshit, but it's gummy lifesavers. When I was younger, I'm gonna pause my story because somebody's gotta open it.
No, you go ahead. Gummy lifesavers.
Which, speaking of,
I'm sure people need complete background silence to hear gummy lifesavers.
Can you open one for me? Be a pal. Thank you. When I was younger, my mom or Santa, whichever one you choose to believe.
I like hiccuped.
Rude. Try my drink. You ain't never tried this? It's at Kroger. Is it good? Am I gonna like it?
You act like I go in Kroger. I ain't been in a Kroger since March of this year.
You upped your, well, that's true. You upped your selection of specs, right?
Total Wine.
Total Wine. That's right. Anyway, sorry. Back to the top 5 foods. When I was younger, my mom, or Santa, whichever you choose to believe, filled our stocking with lots of fruit, apples, bananas, oranges, and without fail, she started a tradition of buying us gummy lifesaver books, and I looked forward to it every year.
I like to eat apples and bananas.
So that's the reason why Gummy Lifesavers makes my list, is because it's something that I usually have every year. Shane?
Number 1 for me is something called Mississippi Ranch Roast. You could look this up online and find the recipe pretty easy. It's a roast you throw in a crock pot with, I think it's pepperoncinis, a stick of butter.
I like to get spicy at your Christmases.
It's like ranch dip mix and then beefy onion soup mix. There's some shit in there. Mm-hmm. My mom makes it, and I look forward to this shit at Christmas. Now, I want to point out while we're here that this whole ham at Thanksgiving thing is newer. Ham used to be sidelined for Christmas.
God damn it, Shane.
And now it's ham and turkey. So now I'm stuck leaving Mississippi Ranch Roast, which is my favorite meat.
Oh, you got a favorite meat?
Yes, I do.
Well, since you decided to spoil my list early, I'm going to...
I spoiled your list?
Put my list a little out of order.
That's what you get for not sending me your food list.
Ham. Ham is Christmas to me.
If you look in old recipe books, they straight call that shit Christmas ham.
Ham, yes. And you know what's funny is when I had the hardest time with this list, I even called my parents and was like, what the fuck did we eat at Christmas time? They're like, well, we had turkey and stuffing and ham. And I'm like, no, I don't remember that. I remember only having ham. So, Mom and Dad, fuck off. We had ham. Ham is a Christmas thing. I'm sure you agree, based off of what you said.
Yep.
Turkey is Thanksgiving, but we specifically had the ham with the little pineapples on it.
Your mom is really going to appreciate you throwing her name out there, is asking like what the menu was comprised of.
I did. She was like, turkey, stuffing. And I'm just like, I even told her, I said, fuck you. No, we didn't.
I just meant that like her contributions normally, pigs in a blanket. For
God
every
damn it, Shane, shut up.
For everything. See? Okay.
Shut up.
Okay.
God.
I'm sorry.
Go on your next pick.
My second pick is something called 3-bean chili.
Fucking beans, man.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, bean boy.
Christmas, I could eat chili all day or all year long, but there are real chilies that you can actually make that don't taste like they came out of a can.
Mm-hmm.
And this is that time of year when I crave that. So you take beef and chili mix and chili powder, which I'm sure is in chili mix. I'm going to shut up.
Oh,
Lots of beans for your ass.
I want to hear about your beans.
Your dad can't eat it. My wife makes this 3-bean chili every year around this time, and then we eat on it for about a week.
Has she ever
and
made
it's
it?
a good thing that we have 2 restrooms in the house. That's a joke.
People be pooping.
If your dad was here, that would not be a joke.
He can eat those beans. My mom says he can't, but he's getting all sorts of things that make him shit at the holidays anyway, so I think my mom will survive. Although he's using my restrooms at the moment, so say a prayer for me if you believe in that sort of thing. Anyway, next on my list is apple cider and eggnog. As I've said earlier in the lists, I make homemade apple cider every year in the crock pot. It's something that I do. I don't make eggnog because fuck that shit. And I only buy it for one person, which is my sister Alyssa. I'm such a hostess. But yeah, apple cider.
It's good.
You ain't never tried it.
I've had your apple cider.
No, you haven't.
The spiced cider, is that what you're talking about?
I've never made apple cider for you.
Oh my God. And I'm old.
When have I made apple cider for you?
You showed up with a fucking crock pot numerous times. This shit.
I've been drinking.
Numerous times.
I've been drinking. Okay, it is good?
I want to
Okay.
go back for a second, though, and point out that something I never get out of my head is we went to a Cowboys game with your dad
Yeah.
and my mom.
Mm-hmm.
We being my wife and I.
Yeah, not me and you.
And then we went to a Mexican joint.
Oh,
It was
God.
right across the street from the apartment. That's what your dad was craving.
No, my dad craving Mexican.
And we sat there talking and eating.
Mm-hmm.
And he loved their salsa. So just bowl after bowl of this salsa. And they finally bring him this giant fucking burrito. It's complete meat inside. It's like smothered in cheese. And it's a big tortilla. It's not just a burrito tortilla. It's big. He eats the whole fucking thing. He eats more salsa. He's drinking Dr. Pepper the whole time. And he stands up. We're going to leave. And he says, and I quote, "I feel like I'm going to poop a baby pumpkin." That's really stupid, but for some reason it stands out in my head.
I've gotten, you know what? I don't know. I think you have too. We've both gotten pictures of his shit.
Dude, don't mention that. Fucking turd photographer.
He's so proud of this turd that he laid that he decided to mass text it throughout the majority of the family. Those that would be able to appreciate it.
I don't think he meant to. I think that was
Nope.
accidental.
Nope.
Well, if that's
you can
the case,
think that it's accidental. It was
then,
not.
Eric, you gave us no preamble to opening a phone and seeing a turd there. I thought it was accidental.
He got Shane likes to put together shirts with either quotes from people in the family that have been said throughout the year. And my dad's was turd photographer, and he wears it proudly. So next on my list is Krabby Patties. For those of you that don't know, there are gummy Krabby Patties. I don't know if I have a thing with gummy candy, but my mom likes to stick these in both mine and Blue stockings every year. And usually we fight over them. They have no taste. I don't know what the appeal is about them, but we get them every year. I swear, I think I said I liked them one year, and my mom's just like, I'm going to do it every year from now on. So I get them.
Man.
And they get eaten, but...
Well, one, I could admit to buying into the hype. You see these things sometimes come out of someone's stocking and they don't want them. And you're like, oh, shit, I'm gonna eat this Krabby Patty burger candy. Yeah, it tastes like nothing. But speaking of saying you like things and then getting them all the time, when Carol was still alive...
What did she do?
Wings, man. Wings were a constant. She knew that I loved wings. So we had a lot of wings at your house whenever we would come down to visit. And what never got brought up
That's
is
when Logan put the move on your girlfriend.
It was during those days, yes.
Yeah.
But I liked fried wings. The baked wings, you know, where the skin is still kind of flabby. And I hate that stuff. And
she was looking out for your health, Shane.
I appreciate it. I'm not saying they were bad. It was just interesting to me.
I never made that connection that we would always have wings when you visited.
Yeah, it's because that's the kind of person that she was. She wanted to make sure that people were comfortable.
That's true.
In her way.
That's true. She would go through, it was her job to cook all the food and make the grocery lists. And she used to go through the house a certain day of the week and ask everyone, because we were at a number. I think there was... 1, 2, hold on, let me do the math. There were 7 of us, so an exact number, counting Blue. There were 7 of us in the house.
Okay.
Blue was always over for dinner at least one night a week.
I was just trying to figure out who all you were including. It's your immediate household.
You weren't there all the time. Anyway, she would go through and ask each of us, you get to pick one night that's your night for dinner. And I will forever love this woman for this. Usually mine was appetizer night because I'm a fatty food bitch and I love cheese. So I would do all sorts of finger foods. Blue, she found out Blue loved lasagna. She would plan Blue's night without even asking him.
Nice.
Lasagna. Usually Logan was pork chops smothered in mustard because he's a freak of nature. But anyway, I digress. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I will forever love her for that same reason about being a really good hostess.
Yeah.
Which is where I learned it from.
My third pick.
Third,
yeah, you skipped me and went twice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Third pick for me are sausage balls. So, like Bisquick, sausage, cheese, baked sausage balls.
Damn, you're making me hungry.
I don't remember these showing up at anything but like family reunions. But now they're a Christmas thing, and they're a Christmas thing because of Code's Christmas parties. This dude and his sausage balls, the first time they threw their holiday party, I swear it was like watching a robot that's programmed to only have like 2 or 3 things to say. When he was talking to other people, he'd hover around the whole house
just
talking to people, and you could watch him. He'd walk up to people and be like, hey, you try the sausage balls? Hey, you should try the sausage balls.
Codes, I know we've only met once, but man, I want to try your balls.
I'm going to go ahead and go with my fourth here.
Okay.
Which would be a specialty of mine. It's a spiced meat and potato pie. It's more of a European thing. Essentially what you're doing is you're taking a pie crust, you're putting ground beef and potatoes that have been cooked together.
Like a mincemeat?
In a pot for a while. It's got a clove, allspice, cinnamon, flavorful. You top it with another pie crust, bake it for an hour or so, cut it up like a pie when it's cool, and serve it.
That's like a mincemeat pie, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always serve it with whole cranberry sauce, not that gelatin stuff that comes out of the can, but you can buy whole cranberry sauce that has whole cranberries in it.
We have to have 2 different kinds at Thanksgiving because of Blue and Samantha.
Yes. And it works very well. What's your final pick?
My final pick, although I'm not ready for this to be over because I'm loving hearing about food.
It's not. Continue. We probably got a pizza on the porch right now. So
you already ordered? Who the hell ordered pizza?
I did while you were
playing with your son.
What? Answer the question.
Anyway, my last pick is Little Smokies and deviled eggs. I grew up hating deviled eggs. They looked fucking gross. And now I'm the lady that makes the deviled eggs. How the fuck did this happen?
What do you mean by Little Smokies? Are you talking about pigs in a blanket? Are you talking about...
I wouldn't call them pigs in a blanket. You know what I'm talking about. The shit that my mom and dad always make.
Yeah, cocktail wieners, but...
Yeah, cocktail...
But prepared how?
Wrapped with crescent rolls.
Okay, those are pigs in a blanket.
But not... Okay, let's be truthfully honest. We could do with a little more crescent roll.
And if your family's out there listening and they do this, please keep doing it. Okay,
yeah, no,
this is not a complaint.
It's a staple. It's a staple.
Yes.
But if my family's out there listening, I could do with a little bit more crescent roll, Anyway.
You want it covered up? Cover the whole wiener?
Well, there's usually a little less than I really want on there. I want less of the wiener, more of the bread. But anyway, my family, meaning my mom and dad, would usually make a shit ton of little smokies and bring them to any potluck that we throw together. It's without question. Usually without question, they bring it. Either that or my dad's banana bread. That's Shane's banana bread. Usually that or my dad's banana pudding. Which is phenomenal. I hate that he has conditioned the entire family to look forward to it, but everyone does. I even specifically told him this Thanksgiving not to make it. He ignored me and made it anyway.
How did you end up on banana pudding? We were talking about cocktail weenies.
Because it's a staple of theirs. Usually my mom makes little smokies because as much as I love my mom, she's not a chef. We both can attest to this.
Yes.
But my dad is.
Here's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you bring up the little smokies, another thing that comes to mind are the barbecued kinds, like where they're heated in barbecue sauce.
Toby and Heather make those.
For a long time. Yeah, they do currently. We don't normally see them, but what we do see, mostly from parts of the family that are not ours, what the hell? Not our immediate families is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
But they'll be at Christmas things.
Yeah.
What is with our family and barbecued meatballs? It feels like Christmas. There's always a pot
of barbecue meat. I know. I mean, I'm not mad at it, but it seems like a lot.
It's almost like somebody didn't know where else to put it in the annual meal time.
I'm not mad at it. It's just bring toothpicks. Bring toothpicks.
So my final pick for this is either, actually, how do I put this? It's sausage queso. So it's like a Velveeta dip that I think probably has a little milk in it and a can of Rotel. Mm-hmm. And you cook breakfast sausage and put it in it. I mean, and there are tons of other kinds you can make, chili or just no meat at all, whatever. But so the norm in our family is that sausage queso and chips, or if you're with my mom, she makes chicken enchiladas in that queso a lot. Mm-hmm. And that feels like Christmas to me.
Mm-hmm. Mexican Christmas.
Anyway.
Sorry.
That should conclude all of our lists.
Moving on to what you would like to talk about next.
Actually, before you get going, because Rayburn has some very special messages to share with us, I've got a little bonus list here.
Okay.
Which I'm calling 5 shameless self-promotions. So this episode will be coming out a little too close to Christmas to do much of anything with, but something to keep in mind if you are shopping for gifts for birthdays or whatever. Look for these things. So for those who don't know or don't remember, I make books, I make games.
You do?
And everything that I produce is unique. I try to ensure that before going into it. I make things that I want to use, never things that already exist, which you can't say for a lot of people out there. So the first game, or the first thing on my list, would be a game that I created called My Headphones. It's built to fill a hole that the music guessing game and mixtape don't fill on their own. But if you love music, this is one you can play with just about anybody. They don't have to know a bunch of music trivia. It's really just opinions and having fun and trying to guess at things. Second would be my journals. There are 40 of them now.
Yeah, I need to up my journal game. I have a portion of my bookshelf that has your books on them, and it's smaller than I would like it to be.
It's a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
There's a lot of stuff there. So what I would recommend, by the way, my website is shanewyndham.com. Or you can find all of my books on Amazon. Most people know me from that, The Me Journal, which was a spinoff of the Secret Me Journals, the questionnaire journals that I put out.
Beautiful book.
Yes, but not my favorite thing. I really prefer the originals, and they are still available. But go find something that appeals to you. So recently I just put out one where it prompts you for like a picture of a piece of jewelry on one page, and on the opposite side it's asking you questions about the picture.
It's a photo album.
Yes, it's a photo album. There are things where all you do is circle. So if you don't like to write, you're just circling things. There's a Sudoku puzzle journal. There are plenty about music.
And I don't mean to, I do mean to interrupt, but I don't mean to interrupt. Those About Me journals, they are perfect to see the development that you make throughout the years. So say you do one at age 17, your answers are not going to be the same as they are when you're like 25.
Yeah.
So it's great to see the progression of your life through those journals.
It's good to reflect on. And I hear it from a lot of people that they look forward to leaving it behind to their kids. And a big part of what made me want to do journaling in the beginning, and I started out early back before everyone and their dog was throwing out journals that just have blank lines in them and are selling on a fancy cover.
He's not bitter at all.
Well, it eats the market like crazy.
I know
so
it does.
I don't make much money on it anymore. I'm still not price gouging people. I try to keep my prices low. But yeah, the reason that I started journaling is because I lost some of my grandparents at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated growing up and not knowing more about them. And I think about that before I publish every journal. Yes, it's something that I want to do for fun, but is it also something that would leave memorable value behind to somebody else? And that's a big thing. So whether it's movies or video games or board games or nonsense, I have a Harry Potter journal I could go on and on. The Secret Me books by Shane Wyndham. That's moi, no longer the bad impersonation of Carl Sagan.
Yes, he's still the bad impersonation of Carl Sagan. Don't let him fool you.
Third for me here are Holly Ann Sprayberry's Not So Deep Thoughts books.
Hey.
So I won't go into too much detail on these. What I will say is I've written very serious poetry for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of what I see online is really, really shallow poetry and shallow thoughts sold as insights being sold all over the place. And I wanted to combat that. It's lampooning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I love these books. Fourth is my table games book.
Yeah.
The book is called Table Games, and
I own it.
yes, it has more than 50 card, dice, and domino games. If you have a set of playing cards, you've got like 20 plus games in this little book that you can play. Same with dice and dominoes. Some use poker chips. All original, all unique stuff there. I've even got some variations on Texas Hold'em in them. I'm rambling because I've been drinking.
No,
sorry.
You're fine. Shut up. You would say you were rambling even if you weren't drinking. So just stop.
There's a Christmas game in that book. Put that out there. Last, shameless self-promotion from me is something from our merch shop.
What? We have a merch shop?
Yes. And you can see it if you want to be the person who types in the good stuff from the beginning. teespring.com/stores/ratedradio. But the best way to do it, teespring.com/ratedradio. It's going to take you to our main logo shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Just click on the Rated Radio merch link on that page. You'll see everything. Find something to love.
Mm-hmm.
Fill your world with music.
He did it.
Yeah, we've been fucking Eric's quote up for a while.
Yeah, we have. I love that we came to that realization. I have a shameless promotion as well. Number 1 on my list is hire me for non-sexual things. And that's the end of my list. I make a great personal assistant.
Still without a job there, Raybert?
Still without a job. I blame it on the economy, but, Rated Radio is my job, and I love doing it.
It don't pay anything.
It don't pay the fucking bills.
So here's the thing. Go to the merch shop, and reason being, you can do the listener support thing if you want to, but the merch shop, we're going to make more money from what you buy there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a better way to support us, and you get something out of it besides us just continuing to do what we do. And in the future, there will be other very interesting things coming on the merch shop, not just typical merch.
So whatever you purchase might only be for a limited time offer. Yeah. We might not go with that design. Our logo is ever changing, although we are very attached to it at this moment. Our logo is ever changing. Designs are ever changing. And you know what? If you like a quote and something sticks with you, hey, it might be available on the merch shop. So check that out and make sure that you're double checking for something for yourself or somebody that you love.
And if it's not there, let us know what your quote is, because there's only so many hours in the day to go back and listen to all this and quote mine.
If you really want something, we'll probably make it for you. Who knows?
What else do we have for this week?
We have a couple questions.
For this show.
Yeah, not for this week. We have a couple questions from our listeners.
Let's do it.
Some of the questions that we've gotten within the past week. We got a question from Clint C. on Facebook. He asked us, will you ever have me on? The answer to that question, Clint, is God, I hope so. We're willing to have anyone on that would like to be on. Clint is actually a friend of mine from college.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. So it might take a little bit of traveling on one of our parts, but absolutely would I want you on. Clint has had a podcast in his past that I was a subscriber and listener to, and he would make for a phenomenal guest, and I would love to have him on.
Yeah.
So yeah, the answer is yes.
Definitely look forward to meeting you and spending some time with you and your opinions.
Yeah. Shane, do you have any
Questions?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I was fucking with you.
So you were just fucking with me throughout the week. Great.
Yeah. The questions, I get some inappropriate stuff sometimes. So no, I do not have any questions that need asked on the show.
Okay. I have multiple questions from Toby B, who is an avid listener of us. He asked, what artist are you most looking forward to covering, and who are you not looking forward to?
Go ahead.
Well, my pick for the Battle of the Bands, this at the end of...
Which everybody already knows. Who's somebody else?
Well, the obvious pick would be Panic at the Disco, but I'm also not looking forward to covering them, so it's a simultaneous answer. I look forward to covering them because I enjoy listening to their music, but I'm not looking forward to it because you kind of scare me.
Mine is Copeland, because I think Rayburn is really going to enjoy that artist. That's the hope anyway. If she doesn't, that's cool. It will still be one of my favorite music artists.
Okay, you might be drinking too much. You do realize that I've listened to Copeland before?
Yeah.
Upon your request. Okay.
Yep.
And I did enjoy what I listened to, correct?
But if you, trust me, you would be in the deep end.
Okay.
If it was a serious, hardcore listen.
Okay.
That's the thinking anyway. I'm, again, not full of myself. I don't think the world revolves around me. I'm happy to hear,
Any
just
opinion?
like my wife says, that could put you to sleep on the road.
Okay.
What about what you don't want to cover?
I don't want to cover Panic at the Disco.
Hmm.
It's the same answer for different reasons. I don't want to cover Panic at the Disco because we went to a Panic at the Disco concert. I know that you obviously don't like them as much as I do, which is fine, but I don't want to be hit with some truths.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it because I know I will enjoy the listen, but I'm not looking forward to it because I will be hit with some truths that I might be a little biased to not be seeing.
And for people who are confused, I've not really expressed my opinions on Panic at the Disco with her. I just know how she feels about it, and I've never really said anything, so that makes sense.
The anxiety breathing is happening over here.
As far as artists that I don't want to cover, I've been drinking, so I'm only thinking of good music right now.
Okay.
And in that vein, I'm really afraid to come up on Pink Floyd.
Ooh.
And the reason for that is because just like with Rush, they have albums out with, 10 to 15 minute tracks and albums that only have 5 songs on them.
Mm-hmm.
And if they go up against another good artist, that could be brutal.
Yeah.
Just because of the way I rate.
Another question from Cameron M. Who is the artist and album that started your addiction to music? I'm going to let you go first.
My addiction.
Addiction.
The first time I remember being completely obsessed with a CD was Bone Thugs and Harmony, East 1999, Eternal.
The first song that kind of opened my eyes to the prospect of loving music that was not instilled in me at a young age was Hey Jude by the Beatles. It gave me a hope of the person that I could be rather than the person that I was currently being at the time.
Another thing worth mentioning is Codes mentioned when he was on, thinking that I had a good range of musical taste. And I think I owe that primarily to my uncles. We've talked in depth about Eric, about your dad.
Mm-hmm.
What has rarely been mentioned is Mike. When I was very young, Mike gave one of my sisters and I a big box of tapes.
Yeah.
I think he was just moving on to CDs. So he took all of his tapes and gave them to us. And George Michael's Faith, Tiffany's take on I Think We're Alone Now. So many types of music that I was not listening to at the time that just began flooding my ears and really made me think there's so much else out there.
Yeah.
And I still feel that way around any corner with music. You can stumble upon something that is magical.
Yeah, that's the good thing about music. Here's another question from Toby B. It is a gag question, but I really want to know what you're going to say. When are we going to cover an album of nothing but vacuum?
There's probably something out there that you could find even without just looking up vacuum cleaner noises. Maybe, just maybe, the Walmart aisle where you used to get the
sound noises next to the candles and shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe there is a vacuum album and we just missed it.
What is it? Teespring.com/rated radio. Be looking out for the vacuum cleaner shirt. Okay, moving on to our next question. This is from Samantha B. If you could only listen to one album for the rest of your life, which would you choose?
You're going to have to go first because I've not had an opportunity to think about this.
Dude, I've been drinking. You know what? I'm going to go with the safe answer because it has been my highest rated album thus far. Prince's Purple Rain album is still my highest ranked album that we've covered thus far. You?
This is really tough.
I know.
Because there are so many different types of music.
She asks the hard-hitting questions.
The thing that keeps coming to mind for me, because it hits so many different levels, is Dream Theater's Images and Words album.
All right, the last question from questions from our listeners is, what has been your favorite episode?
Again, that's an impossible question.
I just thought I'd ask it anyway. I love so many different episodes for so many different reasons, but I'll tell you what my favorite episode is, the next one. It's always the next episode.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I thought you meant the literal next episode.
No. It's always going to be the next episode because the fact that I can continue to enjoy what I'm doing and enjoy doing it with my cousin and friend, talking about something that I love, is something that I will forever cherish and enjoy. So the fact that I can have a platform to talk openly about it is something that I always look forward to.
It's a beautiful thing, so it's really hard to nail anything down. I love being able to share stories from lists and stuff, and we do that primarily when guests aren't on. Mm-hmm. But there is something to really be said for the guest weeks, because those are conversations that I could see going back and listening to, and it always being a comfort mechanism, and knowing the things that are talked about outside of this show that just don't make the cut.
Yeah.
Or were after we stopped recording. It's been a ride, and I'm really glad that this music obsession finally found a home here, and I'm very appreciative for everyone who listens. So a favorite, I don't know that I have one.
We did receive...
It wasn't that first week, I'll tell you that. It was not...
It was
not CN Radiohead.
Oh, me neither. Going back and listening to that episode, I'm like, oh my God, we've come such a long way in such a short amount of time.
They both had great albums, but I struggled with so much of their stuff.
You know what? We had to get it out of the way to make way for what was coming. I do have a couple messages from our past guests. And first one we're going to hear from Katie B., which was our first guest on the Fiona Apple versus Tom Petty.
I think she's going to clarify that for you in the message.
Yeah, she does. I'm so glad that you clarified that. But let's go ahead and take a listen to it.
Hi, Rated Radio listeners. I'm Katie. I was a guest on the show for the Fiona Apple versus Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers episode. And my experience as a guest was really chill, and Shane and Rayburn made me feel welcome and comfortable. And I would recommend going on the show if that's something you're considering. And while I'm here, and cause this is the Christmas special, I want to share my favorite Christmas song with y'all. And that is Christmas Cookies by George Strait. So listen to it, and Merry Christmas, everybody.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard it. I'd be very interested to hear it. The thing that goes through my head listening to the message is how much I want to say thanks. You could thank all of our guests, but really, Katie was our first guest. We had no idea what we were doing, and she rolled with it. Mm-hmm. She came with such blunt perfection.
Yeah.
The not having answers to the questions and just not giving a shit in places. Got nothing for you.
She popped our guest podcast cherries, and you know what? I ain't mad about it.
I loved it. I hope that she understands that the whole versus thing is more for show.
Yeah.
I listen to her artist pick all the time. Mm-hmm. I love Fiona Apple, and I know what other artists she would pick. And now that we're a little more comfortable with what we're doing, I hope she comes back on at some point and picks another fantastic artist for us to cover.
Oh, I completely agree. moving on to our next guest that decided to send us a loving voice message. It's Joseph B. Let's go ahead and listen to what he had to say.
Hey, you guys, at Radio, I just want to let you know that ever since I came on this show, I've had a really bad diarrhea. Like every day it's just been diarrhea. And I just wanted to let everyone know that, if you're planning on going on the show, you need to be careful because, you might get diarrhea. I don't know what you guys are doing, if it's, the coffee you gave me or what, but it's been bad, okay? It's a cool show, but it ain't worth all the diarrhea.
Well,
okay. The first thing that needs pointed out there is that's not Joseph. That's his oldest son, Devin.
Yes.
And
it's sad that we know who that it really is.
Devin is the only person I know, apart from maybe Eric, who is a bigger troll than I am.
But we love him because of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that goes without saying. That would be an interesting guest.
Oh, yeah. About the diarrhea, sorry about your life, man.
Yeah. Hey, this is the kind of stuff you want to listen to on the toilet, though, so, you're welcome.
Let us know. We'll cover songs on the toilet instead of songs of the vacuum. Our last video message that we got was from Uncle Wordman himself. So let's see what he has to say.
From your dad.
Yeah, my dad.
I reckon what y'all want to know is what I'm doing on here talking like this. I just want to put in a couple of pennies worth on these two individuals. You hear on a lot of the podcasts, a lot of their episodes, how, they talk me up and everything. And I assume everybody knows who I am by now. But they talk me up and how I've inspired them through the years. And I just wanted to let these two know just how proud I am of them and the drive that they both have. I'm extremely proud to be affiliated with them and the Rated Radio. And yeah, I don't have diarrhea either, so.
Well, he done got me, guys. He done got me.
Got you emotional?
A little. But then again, I'm biased.
At least he don't have the diarrhea.
Thank God for that.
We don't do it to everybody, I guess.
Thank God.
I know that listeners really enjoy Eric's being on so far, which is just confirmation of what we've lived with for our entire lives, which is knowing that that's the kind of person that you want to be. Mm-hmm. I didn't have a father around, and ultimately I don't feel upset about that because the person who was in my life, I took so much away from it that I can't even imagine taking away from my father figure anyway. So it's really a good thing to be able to share experiences with him. And the fact that we all love music the way that we do, it's been a lifelong journey.
The one thing that I will say is, based off of his message, is I've never been prouder to share a dad with so many different people, because he really is a dad to so many different people. And he's every person that anyone needed at any point in time. So thanks, Dad. I appreciate it. And I'm glad you're proud of us, because there's no greater satisfaction than being able to make you proud every day.
And no doubt that you'll be back on. So
oh, yeah.
Stay tuned.
So that concludes our holiday special.
And I know there are people out there who are struggling this season, the year being what it has. Something I want to share with everyone is, if you are down, I'm not going to tell you to call a hotline or anything. You can do that stuff. You can see people who like the posts on Facebook and hope that it makes a difference. Here's what I'd recommend. Start your days and end your nights by looking at a list of things you're grateful for. Add to it. Go over it when you're feeling down, and just make sure you keep things in perspective. Because as much negativity as there is surrounding this year, the one thing that I already know before we can even reflect on the year as a whole is that as much as this year has sucked, and it has sucked for a number of reasons for a lot of people, I know for me personally, I used it as an opportunity to learn about myself and to get things done that I never thought I would, and to change things for the better. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how little money you have. It doesn't matter what you've been through. You can change your circumstances. You may not be able to change everything, but focus on what you can and follow the things that make you feel good about being alive, because you are alive and this may be the only life you ever have. Ride this motherfucker till the wheels fall off. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Though 2020 has and continues to greatly affect our normal ways of operating, both positively and negatively, there's a lot that this year has given me that I will forever be grateful for. And I don't know that I would have had the patience and perspective that I needed to acquire it otherwise. So here are some of the things. I started the podcast, and having it gave me the courage to put myself on an open platform to do what I love with one of my favorite people. And another thing that I took away from 2020 is quarantine has focused and forced my household to reevaluate its priorities and help grow us closer as a family. And for that, I will forever be grateful. This year has really helped me focus on the things that I'm still lucky to have rather than the things I've lost. And with that being said, here's to better and brighter times ahead for us all. And thanking you, the listeners, again for welcoming us into your homes. We are wishing you a very, very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and a safe and healthy 2021. And most of all, we hope you never forget what makes your melody unforgettable.
Merry Christmas, everybody.